everyone, welcome back. So in this lecture, we'll talk about the critically damped single degree of freedom system. So as in the last class, we discussed about the damped vibration of single degree of freedom system, and we derived this governing equation for this system. And we assumed this solution, and we represented solution in this form. And there were two roots S1 and S2 in the form of zeta. Here zeta equals to damping ratio. Zeta is damping ratio, which is given by C over Cc. So Cc is critical damping constant, which is 2 under root km Newton second per meter, right? So in this we'll talk about the critically damped system. So critically damped system means we are putting zeta equals to 1. So for critically damped system, zeta equals to 1, or we can say C equals to Cc, or we can put C by 2m equals to under root k by m. So if this is the situation, then system is critically damped system. So if this is the case, then both of the roots S1 and S2 will be equal to minus Cc over 2m, or from here we can say if zeta equals to 1, then this term becomes 0 and both of the roots will be equals to minus n. So in this we can say if both of the roots are real and identical, then system is critically damped system. So we can say both of the roots are equal and real, then system is critically damped system. So if this is the situation, then we can say because of these repeated roots, the solution of this governing equation given by xt equals to a1 plus a2 t multiplied by e raised to power minus omega n t. And here a1 and a2 can be found out using initial conditions. So constants a1 and a2 is to be determined using initial conditions, and initial conditions are x at t is equal to 0 time, which is x naught, and x dot at t is equal to 0 time, which is x naught dot. So these are the initial conditions. This is the initial condition over the velocity, and this is the initial condition for displacement. And this equation, now we are talking about this equation, this is the solution, right? So this equation can also be obtained using, as in the last lecture we got the response xt equals to e raised to power minus zeta omega nt, and this was a1 cos 1 minus zeta square omega nt plus a2 sine 1 minus zeta square omega n t. So using this equation we can get this solution. So if we put the limit, right, so limit is if zeta approach unity, so we can say if zeta approach to unity, so we can put if limit zeta tends to 1, then we can say 1 minus zeta square multiplied by omega n, which is equal to omega d, will approach to 0, right? If in this, if zeta is approach to 1, then this factor or omega d will approach to 0. Hence in this equation we can say this is cos omega dt, right? 1 minus zeta square multiplied by omega n is damped frequency, which is omega d, and this term, which is sine omega dt. So if this is the situation, zeta tends to 1, then 1 minus zeta square multiplied by omega n, which is omega d, tends to 0. Then we can say cos omega dt. Cos omega dt means we are talking about this term will tend to 1, and sine omega dt will tend to omega dt, right? As we know that if theta is very small, then cos theta can be written as 1 and sine theta can be written as theta. So if this is the situation, then in this equation cos omega dt can be written as 1 and sine omega dt can be written as omega d into t. So this equation now can be written as xt equals to e raised to power minus omega nt, because now we are putting the limit zeta equals to 1, then this becomes a1, right? And cos omega dt tends to 1, then this becomes 1, and here this becomes a2, and sine omega dt is omega d multiplied by t, right? So here omega, now we can say this a1 is a constant, and this a2 multiplied by omega dt is also a constant. So now we can write a1 and a2 omega dt as a1 prime and a2 prime. These are the new constants. So this solution now can be represented as xt equals to a1 prime plus a2, sorry, this is omega a2 multiplied by omega t, because t is not constant. So this a2 multiplied by omega d is constant, new constant, as a2 prime. So this becomes a2 prime multiplied by t, and this factor, this is e raised to power minus omega nt. So this is the solution for critically damped system. This solution is identical to this one, right? This is the solution. Now here we'll find out a1 and a2 using the initial conditions. So for that we can put, this is our solution, and initial conditions are x at t is equal to 0 time, which is x naught, and x dot at t is equal to 0 time, which is x naught dot. So we are putting displacement condition in this. We'll put t equals to 0, and at the place of xt we'll put x naught. So this equation can be written as x naught equals to, this is a1, and if t equals to 0, then this becomes 0 and this becomes 1. So a1 plus 0 multiplied by 1. So we can say from here we'll get a1 equals to x naught. And now we'll put the initial condition over the velocity. So we'll differentiate this equation and we'll get the equation for velocity. So this is x naught, x dot t, first differentiation of this displacement equation with respect to time. So this becomes 0 plus a2 prime multiplied by e raised to power minus omega n t, or we can say this is minus omega n e raised to power minus omega n t and a1 plus a2, right? So now this is x naught dot, and we'll put t equals to 0. So this is a2, this becomes 1, and from here this will be minus omega n multiplied by, this is t. So this becomes 0, this is a1, and this becomes 1. So minus omega n multiplied by a1, right? So from here we can get A2 equals to x naught dot A2 equals to x naught dot plus omega n A1. Now we know the value of A1, then this can be written as A2 equals to x naught dot plus omega n x naught. So now we know the value of A1 and A2 both constant. So we can insert these values into this solution. So this solution becomes xt equals to A1 is x naught. So this is x naught and A2 is x naught plus omega n x naught. So this is x naught dot plus omega n x naught multiplied by t multiplied by e raised to power minus omega n t. So this is the solution for critically damped system, right? So now from this equation we can observe this is a aperiodic solution, or we can say this equation represents a aperiodic solution, right? Because if e raised to power minus omega n t tends to 0 as t tends to infinity. So if this tends to 0, then we can say this solution is aperiodic solution. So this represents a aperiodic motion. So it means if we are exciting or starting the vibration of a system which is critically damped system, so if we are giving the initial displacement, this is the graph between xt and t. So if we are giving this much of initial displacement and we are giving initial velocity, then this will be something like this. So after some time it will approach to 0 or it will not surpass the equilibrium equation. So this value represents the initial displacement at t is equal to 0 time, and slope of this represents the velocity x naught dot. So this is value of this angle represented by tan inverse x naught dot. So this is for the critically damped system, or you can say zeta equals to 1. So this is how we can get the response of the critically damped system. So thank you. In the next lecture, we'll discuss about the over damped system. So thank you.